before the stars take their posts in the velvet sky, and the world draws its final breath of the day, there lies a sacred moment. Yours and yours alone. In this quiet hour, when the noise has stilled and the mind is softened like wax ready to be imprinted, the words you speak to yourself carry more weight than gold. These are not idle phrases. They are affirmations, spells, divine commands, mighty declarations that shape the invisible currents around you. The world you live in is not fixed. It is a mirror of your inner speech, your inner belief, your inner vibration. Each night, before your head finds its rest upon the pillow, you stand at the threshold of creation. What you declare in these moments moves swiftly into the soil of the subconscious, which never sleeps, and which brings forth whatever seed is sown into it, whether wheat or weeds. And so, I say, guard your inner garden. Tend to it with intention and grace. Speak not as a beggar pleading for crumbs, but as a king reclaiming his kingdom. You are not here to suffer through the chaos of the world. You are here to rise above it, to transmute it, to co-create with the infinite. But your power is unlocked only when you align your thoughts with truth. Not the facts of fear or limitation, but the truth of divine abundance, unshakable peace and radiant wholeness. Say to yourself, all that is mine by divine right now comes to me in perfect ways. And mean it. Declare, I cast this day into the sea of forgetfulness, only its blessings shall return unto me. Let no regret remain unhealed. Let no fear remain unchallenged. Tonight you are not preparing to sleep, you are preparing to ascend, to plant. To realign your spirit with the source of all good. Each of these 10 things you will tell yourself is not merely a sentence. It is a key. A key that opens doors, dissolves obstacles, clears your path, and reorders your world according to the divine blueprint written in your soul. They are words of power, wrapped in simplicity, soaked in faith. Let your tongue speak only that which you wish to see multiplied. For what you speak in the darkness is heard in the light. What you affirm in silence is echoed by the universe. What you believe without doubt becomes flesh and form. So speak now, beloved soul. Not to describe the world as it is, but to command it as it shall be. Your words are seeds. Plant only what you wish to grow. This simple statement holds the weight of all spiritual law, the foundation of every miracle, and the quiet force behind every visible change. In the great invisible garden of your life, there is no idle speech, no neutral statement, no wasted phrase. Every word you speak is a seed, alive with vibration, encoded with potential, and destined to bear fruit. Whether spoken aloud or whispered within, your words carry the energy of creation, and what you plant must eventually rise. We do not live by effort alone, but by consciousness. Consciousness is formed by thought, belief, and speech. Thought gives the blueprint. Belief gives it roots, but speech gives it life. When you speak, you are not merely communicating. You are activating law. You are declaring what is true for you, whether it serves you or not. The subconscious, that vast and fertile ground, accepts every word as instruction. It does not analyze, argue, or reject. It obeys. It brings forth in form whatever has been impressed upon it consistently, emotionally, and faithfully. Therefore, your responsibility is sacred to guard your mouth as a gardener guards the soil. No wise gardener plants thorns when she desires roses. No careful farmer scatters weeds when he hopes for golden wheat. And yet, how many times have we spoken of lack, fear, disappointment, and called it reality? Every complaint is a seed, every self-criticism is a seed. Every word of doubt, spoken in frustration or defeat, is a seed, and like all seeds, it waits in silence until the conditions are right. Then, without fail, it springs forth. But the same is true for blessings. Every word of faith is a seed. Every loving affirmation is a seed. Every declaration of joy, peace, and abundance carries within it the pattern of that very good. Speak, therefore, not of things as they seem, but of things as you would have them be. This is not delusion, it is divine cooperation with the creative process. Life responds not to your circumstances, but to your consciousness of them. When you affirm beauty, goodness, and supply, even in the face of lack, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning yourself with the higher law, which is not moved by appearances. Let us say a man is poor in purse but rich in spirit. If he speaks only of his lack, if he declares daily how little he has, how hard things are, how far off his dreams appear, he is watering the seed of poverty, and no matter his efforts, he will reap according to his words. But if he begins to speak as one already supplied, if he says, "My supply is unlimited, for God is my source," if he declares, "Divine substance flows to me now, easily and abundantly," then he plants a different seed, and in due season the form will follow. This law is impartial. It does not care if you plant joy or sorrow, peace or conflict, it simply produces. The soil does not question the worth of the seed, it responds. Likewise, the subconscious does not reject negativity, it fulfills it. You may speak with casual frustration, saying, "I can never get a break," or "I'm always behind," and think nothing of it. But those seeds do not disappear. They are recorded, planted, and tended by the very spiritual mechanisms that govern all creation. And then we wonder why certain patterns repeat, why certain conditions persist. Your tongue is not just for expression, it is an instrument of direction. With it, you guide your life. Every word is a steering wheel, every sentence a compass point. When you speak carelessly, you drift. When you speak with intention, you align. The scriptures say, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue." This is not poetic metaphor, it is metaphysical law. You may be surrounded by difficulty, hemmed in by circumstances that seem immovable, and yet with one persistent, faith-filled declaration, you may begin to change the entire landscape. It begins with inner awareness. Listen to yourself. What do you say in the quiet hours, when no one is around to correct or comfort you? What do you declare as truth about your body, your finances, your relationships? Are your words creative or destructive? Are you planting seeds of victory or seeds of fear? Do you bless your life or curse it? The key is not repression, but redirection. You do not have to deny that challenges exist, but you must refuse to make them your truth. You can acknowledge a situation and still speak from power. You can say, "This may be the appearance now, but divine order is unfolding." You can say, "Though I walk through the valley, I do not fear, for good is at hand." These are not empty phrases, they are declarations of spiritual authority, and they carry creative force. Imagine every night as the time you return to your inner field. In the stillness of evening, when the outer world quiets and the subconscious becomes receptive, your words become even more potent. Speak not of what troubled you. Speak of what is becoming. Say, "I am divinely guided in all that I do." Say, "Only good comes to me now." Say, "I plant perfect seeds tonight, and perfect results shall bloom." Your sleep is not just rest, it is the time your garden grows. Let it grow something worthy. Children speak with imagination and faith, never questioning the power of their declarations. They say, "I am a superhero," or "I can fly," and in that moment they are. Their words are pure. They have not yet been trained to fear, to doubt, to hedge. We must return to that spiritual innocence, not naive, but knowing. Knowing that what we speak over our lives, repeatedly and with belief, becomes flesh. This is not philosophy, it is spiritual law. And the more you speak with love, power, clarity, and joy, the more your life will reflect that energy. Guard your word then. Let no phrase escape your lips that you would not want written in stone. Refuse to entertain the old habits of complaint and self-condemnation. Each word either builds or breaks, blesses or binds, uplifts or undermines. If you desire peace, speak peace. If you desire love, speak lovingly. If you desire prosperity, speak of plenty, not as something far off, but as something already yours by divine right. Affirm it until your words feel real, and when they do, reality must conform. The subconscious never sleeps. Speak with divine authority. This truth is at the heart of every spiritual teaching that understands the unseen forces governing life. The conscious mind tires, the body seeks rest. The world closes its eyes, but the subconscious remains awake, watching, recording, shaping. It is the silent servant that works day and night, never questioning your commands, never interrupting your intentions. It is, in truth, the builder behind the scenes, and it creates not from effort or logic, but from impression. And the tool of impression, more than anything else, is your word. What you speak becomes the instruction manual for the subconscious. It is not moved by emotion unless emotion is spoken. It does not respond to thoughts unless they are deeply felt and continually expressed. But once a word is spoken with belief, especially at the threshold of sleep, it is planted like a decree into the fertile ground of the soul. And from that moment, the wheels begin to turn. The subconscious begins to attract, organize, orchestrate, and assemble all that is necessary for the fulfillment of that spoken word. The subconscious mind is the great workshop of spirit. It is the womb of creation, and it does not discriminate between good or bad, love or fear, wealth or poverty. It brings forth what is fed into it. Like soil that does not care what seed is dropped into its surface, the subconscious receives every word as law. Therefore, if you speak with fear, it obeys fear. If you speak with limitation, it constructs barriers. If you speak with faith, it moves mountains. Your authority lies not in force, but in alignment. And to align your speech with divine law is to command the universe without strain. Too many people speak without awareness. They treat words as ornaments, not instruments. They say, "I'm always so tired," and so they are. They declare, "Nothing ever works out for me," and the subconscious, ever obedient, fulfills the order. They say, "I never have enough," and that pattern is reinforced. The subconscious is not a judge, it is a mirror. Whatever is spoken with emotion becomes reflected in experience. Now, consider what happens when one begins to speak consciously, intentionally, with spiritual understanding. When one says, "All things are working together for my good," and speaks it not as a wish, but as a knowing. When one lies down at night and says, "Divine wisdom guides me even in my sleep," or, "My body restores itself perfectly as I rest," the subconscious receives those words and begins to act accordingly. New patterns are formed, old conditions begin to dissolve, and life gradually shifts to match the tone of the inner decree. To speak with divine authority does not mean to shout or to demand from ego. It means to speak from truth, to speak from alignment with the law of the universe. The authority is not personal, it is spiritual. You do not command because you are strong in will, but because you are surrendered to truth. When you declare a thing with faith, you are not trying to make it happen. You are acknowledging that it already exists in the invisible, and your word is the invitation for it to come into form. There is no more powerful moment to speak than at the edge of sleep. In that liminal space between wakefulness and dream, the conscious mind steps back, and the subconscious opens fully. It is here that affirmations become most potent. Say to yourself, "I am safe, I am loved, I am whole," and those words echo through the corridors of the deeper mind. Say, "I release this day with gratitude. Tomorrow brings greater blessings." And that becomes the blueprint the subconscious follows. Your word at night is not the end of thought. It is the beginning of manifestation. If you have spoken poorly of yourself throughout the day, this is the moment to correct it. If you have worried, feared, doubted, or condemned yourself, this is the moment to erase it with a higher word. The subconscious does not sleep, and it will work with whatever you give it. If you fall asleep repeating a complaint, it does not comfort you. It builds upon that complaint. But if you fall asleep repeating a blessing, it goes to work on your behalf. You are always influencing the unseen. Life is not shaped solely by outer actions, but by inner states. And speech is the bridge between the inner and the outer. Speak what you desire, not what you fear. Declare what you choose to experience, not what you dread. Do not wait for evidence. Speak now, and the evidence will follow. Say, "I prosper in all I do," and let that be your reality. Say, "Love surrounds me and flows through me," and feel the truth of it, even if no outer sign yet exists. The subconscious does not know the difference between current fact and spoken faith. It accepts both as instruction. Those who understand this law do not speak idly. They do not entertain gossip, self-pity, or casual negativity. They understand that every word is a seed, and every sentence is a command. They speak to the subconscious as one would speak to a sacred servant, clearly, respectfully, with unwavering conviction. When you say, "I forgive all and I am free," you are not merely being virtuous. You are cleansing the channel through which good must flow. When you say, "I am guided in every step," you are activating divine intelligence within the deeper self, allowing new insights, synchronicities, and ideas to rise from the depths. Children are masters of this. They speak of magic, possibility, and wonder as though it were normal. They do not analyze or resist. They say, "I'm a superhero," and believe it instantly. That childlike speech is powerful because it is pure. It is untainted by doubt. As adults, we must return to that simplicity, not with naivety, but with spiritual clarity. To speak with divine authority is to know that your word is law to your own subconscious. And that law, once impressed, must be fulfilled. You may not see results overnight, but results are never the true beginning. The beginning is always the word. Your task is not to measure how or when. It is to speak in alignment and leave the rest to law. Just as a seed must grow in darkness before it breaks the soil, so too must the word grow in silence before it becomes visible. Trust the process. The subconscious never sleeps. It is working even now. Give it only what you desire to see. Speak only that which blesses, heals, restores, uplifts, and expands. Let your tongue become the pen of truth, and your life will become its living manuscript. Release the day. Retain only its blessings. Each evening brings with it a divine opportunity to empty the cup of the soul, to pour out what no longer serves, and to keep only what uplifts. As the sun sets and the world begins to quiet, the spirit is invited to lay down its burdens and release the mental clutter gathered throughout the day. This is not avoidance, it is transmutation. It is the sacred act of letting go of all that is heavy, all that is harsh, all that is rooted in fear or regret, while gently gathering the gold. The blessings, the lessons, the beauty, no matter how small. The day may have been full of contrast. It may have brought both joy and friction, ease and tension, laughter and silence. Yet, the soul is not meant to carry every detail forward, to replay each misstep, to rehash each conflict, to brood over what went wrong or what was missed, is to drag the weight of the past into the promise of the future. Every night offers a clean slate, not only in sleep, but in consciousness. But this renewal cannot be received unless the past day is released. Release is not forgetting, nor is it denying. It is choosing what to keep, choosing what to bless, and choosing what to let dissolve back into nothingness. To retain only the blessings is an act of spiritual discipline. It is the ability to sift through the rubble of experience and say, "Here is something I learned," or "Here is a moment of beauty," or even, "Here is where I chose to rise instead of fall." It means refusing to allow the harsh word of another to lodge in your heart. It means unhooking yourself from the disappointment, the delay, the noise. It means saying, "This no longer belongs to me," and returning it to the universal sea where all unneeded things dissolve. The mind, left unchecked, will often cling to the unpleasant. It will replay a mistake, amplify a worry, or relive a scene that stung. This is not because it wishes harm, but because it seeks resolution. Yet, some things are not solved through mental repetition. They are healed through spiritual release. By consciously choosing to bless the day and let it go, you are signaling to your subconscious that only the highest vibrations shall remain. You are saying, "I do not need to carry what weakens me. I am free to hold only what strengthens." Imagine your day as a tapestry. Some threads may be tangled, others woven in perfect harmony. Do not rip it apart. Instead, observe it gently and say, "I thank this day for all it brought. I release it with grace." In doing so, you allow your inner world to remain clear, your subconscious to remain fertile, and your dreams to be inspired rather than burdened. The unresolved conversations, the imagined worries, the fatigue of trying to control every detail, these must be surrendered. There is a wisdom greater than your analysis. Let it take over as you rest. Many people fall asleep with their minds in battle, with themselves, with others, with events already gone. And so their rest is not rest. Their sleep is a rehearsal of fear. But those who release the day before sleep step into the quiet of their spirit. They do not carry the tension of the unfinished, for they trust that what is meant will remain, and what is not will fall away. To retain only the blessings is to declare, I trust in divine order. I do not need to understand all things to be at peace. Gratitude is the vehicle for release. It is the alchemy that transforms memory into wisdom. When you say, thank you for what I experienced, you are not praising difficulty. You are extracting its gift. When you say, I bless this moment and let it go, you are freeing yourself from its emotional residue. Every experience has something to offer, even if only the clarity of knowing what you no longer want. Bless that knowledge. Bless the contrast. Bless even the silence. For in silence there is often a deeper message. There is no benefit in holding on to what drains you. You are not made stronger by replaying your failures or rehearsing your fears. You are not more responsible because you worry. And you are not more careful because you criticize yourself. True power lies in the ability to release the unnecessary and choose only what elevates your state. If something troubles you, offer it to divine intelligence. Say, this is too heavy for me. I place it in your hands. If something delights you, imprint it deeply. Let the joy of it echo in your mind. Let the light of it become the lamp that guides your next day. Sleep is not just a physical need, it is a spiritual practice. It is a return to source, a resetting of the inner mechanism, a reunion with higher wisdom. But its healing power is blocked if the mind is cluttered with unfinished dialogues and emotional noise. Just as you would tidy a room before rest, so too must you tidy the mind. Cleanse it of judgment, complaint, resentment. Keep only what is loving, wise, and useful. Say, I release all tension from this day. I keep the peace, the love, the strength. Say, I let go of the rest. Each evening is a ritual, a chance to stand at the door of the subconscious and decide what enters. You are the gatekeeper. You choose what to carry forward and what to leave behind. Even if the day felt imperfect, even if it contained moments of sorrow or frustration, you still hold the power to transmute it. You do so not by force, but by choice. You do so not by rewriting history, but by rewriting your response to it. You say, I choose to remember the beauty. I choose to release the pain. You say, I am not the sum of what went wrong. I am the awareness that grows from it. To retain only the blessings is not denial. It is mastery. It is refusing to give more life to what drains you. It is choosing to invest your energy in what nourishes you. It is the act of cleansing the soul before rest, of letting the waters of spirit wash away the residue of worldly friction. You may still have work to do, still have healing to welcome, but none of that requires you to carry the weight of every moment into your dreams. Lay it down. Keep what is sacred. Keep what made you softer, wiser, kinder. Let the rest return to the silence from which it came. Affirm truth, not facts. Align with divine law. In the realm of spiritual law, facts are fleeting, ever-changing, bound by circumstance and perception, while truth is eternal, unchanging, and grounded in the divine order of the universe. To affirm truth is to speak from the highest level of reality, the level where spirit governs matter, where love overcomes fear, where divine mind rules over appearances. Facts may tell you that you are lacking, that you are unwell, that doors are closed. But truth declares, I am whole, I am supplied, I am divinely guided and divinely protected. The difference between the two is not subtle. It is the difference between bondage and freedom. Many people are trapped by the facts. They believe what their senses report without question. They look at their bank account and declare, I am broke. They feel an ache in the body and say, I am sick. They encounter resistance and conclude, this is too hard. It's not meant to be. In doing so, they affirm the lower order of life. They feed the visible, forgetting that all form is temporary and responsive to thought. But those who understand spiritual law do not deny facts. They transcend them. They speak truth over the facts, and the facts begin to shift. When you affirm truth, you do not pretend the storm is not there. You declare the calm within it. You do not ignore the pain. You affirm the healing. You do not deny the loss. You speak of restoration. This is not delusion, this is divine alignment. The divine law does not respond to emotion, panic, or logic. It responds to inner conviction. And your conviction is strengthened by the words you speak consistently, especially in the quiet hours when your heart is most open to receive. Facts are relative, truth is absolute. A fact can change in a moment, but truth remains the same across all time and space. The fact may be, I feel afraid. But the truth is, God is not fear, God is love, and perfect love casts out fear. The fact may be, I made a mistake. The truth is, I am not my past, I am a child of the infinite, constantly growing, evolving, and guided back to alignment. The fact may say, I am alone. But the truth says, I am never alone. For I dwell in the presence of divine love, which never leaves me. You must learn to hear the facts without making them your truth. Spiritual mastery begins with what you affirm. Your words carry power not because of their sound, but because of their source. When you speak from truth, you are not speaking from ego, you are speaking from soul. You are not affirming to convince yourself. You are affirming to remind yourself of what is already yours by divine right. There is no need to earn what has already been given. But you must claim it. The universe cannot bring to you what you do not claim in consciousness. And the act of claiming begins with affirmation. To affirm does not mean to repeat blindly. It means to declare with feeling, with faith, with knowing. When you say, divine abundance flows to me now, you are not asking for money. You are aligning with the law of supply. When you say, I am healed, whole, and perfect, you are not ignoring symptoms. You are affirming the spiritual blueprint of your body. When you say, all things are working together for my good, you are not pretending all things are pleasant. You are declaring that divine order is present. Even when unseen, every night, before you enter sleep, you have a sacred opportunity to realign. You have a window where the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes highly receptive. This is the time to plant affirmations rooted in truth. The facts of the day may have been difficult. You may have encountered stress, conflict, or uncertainty. But none of that needs to enter your deeper mind. You can stand at the door of consciousness and say, I choose truth. I release the appearance. I affirm divine order. In this act, you are no longer a victim of life. You become a conscious co-creator. Spiritual teachers throughout time have emphasized this principle. You do not overcome appearances by fighting them. You rise above them through alignment. You align through word, thought, feeling, and vision. But the word comes first. The spoken word is the vibration that begins the shift. It is the spark that ignites the fire of change. To affirm truth is to remind the universe what you are ready to receive. Not based on effort, but based on identity. Not based on need, but on divine inheritance. Truth always begins within. It is not something you force into existence. It is something you awaken to. When you say, I am guided, you are not hoping for guidance. You are declaring that divine wisdom already lives within you, and you are now choosing to hear it. When you say, I am free from all limitation, you are not ignoring the outer constraint. You are aligning with your true self, which is never bound by time, space, or human reasoning. This is the freedom of spiritual authority, the ability to see beyond what is and speak what truly is. The language of truth is gentle but firm. It does not waver based on evidence. It does not retreat when facts arise. It holds its ground, knowing that appearances are shifting shadows, and only what is rooted in divine law can endure. If you have a pattern in your life you wish to change, do not fight it. Speak a new truth over it. If there is scarcity, affirm abundance. If there is confusion, affirm clarity. If there is pain, affirm peace. Speak not of what you see, but of what you choose to see. Do not describe the condition, prescribe the new reality. To affirm truth is not to ignore responsibility. It is to remember where true power resides. You may still take action, still respond to the needs of the moment. But your inner dialogue must remain faithful to the higher vision. You may do what needs to be done, but you will do it with a different energy. With the energy of faith, not fear. Your affirmation becomes the guiding force behind every step. You no longer chase results, you speak from completion. The world may never confirm your truth until you declare it first. Wait for no outer sign. Speak now. Speak as one who knows that spiritual law is always active, always responsive, always working in your favor. Speak not to the world, but to your own consciousness, and as you do, the world must follow. Appearances may resist at first, but they cannot withstand the pressure of persistent truth. The outer must conform to the inner. This is not hope, it is law. Night is not the end, but the beginning of manifestation. As the world slows, as the sun bows to the horizon, and shadows stretch long across the earth, a sacred portal opens. This is not the time of closure, but of planting. Not the conclusion of your efforts, but the quiet moment where invisible hands begin their work. Just as the farmer does not dig up the seed at dusk to see if it has begun to grow, neither must you disturb the unseen forces that stir while you sleep. Night is not emptiness, it is preparation. It is not darkness, it is the womb of becoming. During the day, your thoughts are active. Your choices are outward, your energy flows into doing. But at night, the inner temple becomes accessible. It is in this stillness, this hush, that your soul and the subconscious mind begin their intimate dialogue. All the words you spoke, the thoughts you repeated, the emotions you entertained throughout the day settle into the soil of your being. Here they begin to take form. Sleep does not stop your creative power, it accelerates it by removing resistance. You are not meant to carry the whole weight of your becoming on your conscious mind alone. Night allows the deeper parts of you to breathe, to build, to reshape. What you impress upon your mind before sleep matters. It is the blueprint that your inner self will follow without question. The subconscious does not argue, and it does not delay. It acts in silence, faithfully constructing your dominant beliefs into experiences. To fear at night is to build fear into your future. To replay resentment is to plant more of the same. But to fall asleep in peace, with a clear vision of your highest good, is to send out a sacred command. This is what I accept. This is what I welcome. This is what I now prepare to receive. The law of creation does not clock out when you do. It does not rest or pause. It continues in the unseen, responding not to your outer efforts, but to your inner convictions. What you sow in consciousness before sleep grows roots in the silence. And those roots do not remain below the surface. They rise into form. Do not underestimate the power of a single thought repeated at night. Do not dismiss the value of one sincere affirmation spoken with faith before you drift into dreams. These are the seeds that the night watches over. Sleep is not a break from spiritual practice. It is part of it. It is the moment where the conscious mind hands the baton to the subconscious, saying, I have done my part, now you do yours. And the subconscious, loyal and tireless, takes over. It begins to organize your world according to your deepest impressions. It makes no distinction between truth and fantasy, between hope and fear, between what serves and what limits. It only knows what you have chosen to believe, and belief, more than effort, shapes experience. The reason night is so potent is because the noise of the world has ceased. The mind is softer. The critical voice is quiet. In this tenderness, your inner word takes root easily. It enters the heart without resistance. When you say, I am safe, I am whole, I am guided, those words go deep. They are not lost in the chaos of the day. They are absorbed like water into parched ground. Night is when the foundation is laid. What you see later as luck or synchronicity was born in these unseen hours. There is a reason why ancient wisdom speaks of dreams, of visions in the night, of answers given while sleeping. The divine does not need noise to speak. It does not require ceremony. It needs openness, stillness, willingness. When you empty yourself of fear before sleep and affirm truth, you make room for the voice of the infinite. You enter the temple not made by hands, And there, your higher self whispers ideas, directions, solutions, healing, all of which begin to show themselves when the time is ripe. Many think manifestation is about pushing, striving, constant action. But that is only one part of the cycle. The greater part, the fertile part, is in the allowing, in the resting, in the trusting. Night teaches you to release control and let divine intelligence work without interference. You cannot force a seed to grow faster by watching it. Nor can you rush spiritual law by anxiety. What you can do is prepare the ground, plant the right idea, bless it, and sleep in peace. That peace is not passivity, it is power. It is the energy of surrender backed by spiritual understanding. Before sleep, speak not of what was lacking during the day. Speak not of what frightened you. These things carry no creative power. Instead, say, I welcome the new. I accept my good. I trust the process now unfolding. Even if outer conditions seem unchanged, even if no visible signs appear, you must speak from faith. Manifestation does not begin with proof. It begins with intention anchored in belief. Night is your opportunity to anchor. You are not drifting into unconsciousness. You are returning to the place where all things are made. Do not let the day close with worry on your tongue. Worry is a poor architect. It builds nothing worth living in. Let your last thoughts be strong, clear, and rooted in divine promise. I am not subject to the world I see. I live under the law of grace, not the law of fear. I release all tension now, and prepare to receive all that is mine by right of consciousness. Say these words not to please anyone, not to impress the mind, but to guide the spirit, to instruct the invisible. Your word is not small in the dark. It is powerful beyond measure. It is the vibration that will be carried into the depths while you sleep, weaving itself into events, encounters, and opportunities. Let the darkness be your sanctuary, not your worry chamber. Let night remind you that what is invisible is not absent. It is becoming. Just as the roots grow before the flower appears, so too does your good take shape before you see it. Honor the night as the sacred birthing ground that it is. Approach it with reverence, not wariness. Enter it as a priestess or a prophet, not as a victim of the day. Speak what you choose to create. Declare what must now be so. Know that the silence is listening. That the universe is attentive, that the laws are set and waiting only for your word to activate them. The world may appear to pause at night, but creation never does. Manifestation begins not with noise and motion, but with inner clarity, with spoken word, with deep knowing. Each night is not a pause in your power, it is the hidden half of it. The visible and the invisible are not enemies, they are companions. One sows, the other reaps. One declares, the other responds. Night is the sacred space in which all you have claimed in spirit begins to stir toward form. Speak wisely. Rest faithfully. Trust that what you set in motion with belief shall find its way into light.